How you guys doing today? Today I'll be presenting the achievements, publications, environmental influence, and interesting facts about Gaylord Anton Nelson. Gaylord Anton Nelson was an American politician and environmentalist from Wisconsin. He was born June 4th, 1916, and died on July 3rd, 2005. He resided as a Democrat with his enrollment as a United States Senator and Governor. Many saw Mr. Nelson as the man who launched a new wave of environmental activism. His contributions during this time period affected the science community drastically. It is now 1948, and Mr. Nelson was elected to the State Senate of Wisconsin, where he would remain until 10 years later in 1958. In 1958, he was elected governor to the Wisconsin State Senate, where he would later serve two-year terms. Flash forward 4 years, it is now 1962, and he was elected to the Senate, where he would eventually serve 3 terms, ranging from the years 1963 to 1981. Some interesting facts about Mr. Nelson were his partaking in convincing John F. Kennedy to perform a national speaking tour for the sake of conservation issues. This was then followed by Gaylord founding Earth Day, which originally began as an information session on many environmental issues affecting our community in 1970. Third is his involvement with Vince Lombardi. And Vince Lombardi, at the time, was the head coach and general manager of the Green Bay Packers dynasty, which also at the time was winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Now the Super Bowl trophy is named the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And he was praised by Mr. Lombardi for being the nation's best conservationist, which means a person who displays support for the protection and preservation of the environment and wildlife. Next is his association with the Nelson Pill hearings. These pills were abruptly brought to Earth in 1970 and were contraceptive pills. Nelson often would call for congressional hearings for the safety of these pills. These pills eventually caused poor side effects, leading to the first pharmaceutical drug disclosure ever. With many titles and successes to his name, one major title to his name was the chairman of the Senate Small Business Committee. He was seen by all as a noted advocate of small businesses, and due to this and his title as chairman of the Senate Small Business Committee at the Senate, he led many successful efforts in the support of these small businesses. 3 major examples are the authorization of the first modern White House conference on small business. Secondly was the creation of the system of small business development centers at colleges all around the U.S. And lastly, the Regulatory Flexibility Act, which was an act that allowed federal agencies to control small businesses. Gaylord Nelson, in the end, was a man full of accomplishment, ranging from the founding of one of the most important environmental days of the year, Earth Day, to his advocacy for small businesses while being on the Senate. He attracted attention from some of the most praised people in the world, respectfully, at their positions, like John F. Kennedy and Vince Lombardi, while also aiding to the demise of other noble people like Gerald Ford because of how he believed they were hurting the society. These reasons all lead one to believe the constant idea of helping Gaylord Nelson possessed. With his help, the environmental society community changed for the better. It's my presentation of Gaylord Nelson. He was a great dude.